Hello and welcome to our Wednesday afternoon live broadcast, and welcome to everyone who is jumping on with us as a rebroadcast viewer. I always appreciate you guys joining in on the conversation. I always like to ask that if you are jumping on either live or on the rebroadcast, that you please take a second to hit that subscribe button or like button if you haven't already done so that you are notified when we go live or we upload new content. The YouTube channel has a bell that you can hit. You will get notified there as well. And on Facebook, just hit your notifications and then we will let you know when we go live. Today we are talking about fasting, and if you feel like you're stuck in a fasting rut, should you start considering maybe some variation type dieting? Or should you just go back and reevaluate your lifestyle? So if you've been fasting for a while, hopefully this information will be useful for you, and we'll give you some information that will allow you to get unstuck. If you're new to this community, my name is Diane, and for the past 25 years, I've been helping women find nutrition plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. And here in this community, we are doing that through the practice of intermittent fasting and creating a keto-like lifestyle. And I want you guys to really focus in on that word lifestyle as we're going through today's conversation. If you know of someone who is maybe struggling with the aging process, maybe feeling a little frustrated about some weight gain, or not sure what to do to get themselves to that next phase of feeling happy and healthy about the lifestyle that they're living, please always feel free to share this content with them. We love having new members in our community. So let's talk about fasting basics first. And I always like to also let you guys know that I want you to comment in the comment section. Let me know you're here. If you've been in one of our courses, if you're feeling stuck as an aging woman, or maybe you're not sure what to do with the next step of your fasting journey, let me know in the comment section. And at the end of this conversation, I'll go in and start welcoming you and addressing those concerns. So let's talk about a fast. We know here we practice intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is just creating two windows within a 24-hour period, a fasting window and a feasting window. What you do in your fasting window and what you're doing in your feasting window really does determine the results that you're going to get with what you're trying to do with your fasting endeavors. So I want to talk a little bit about what happens when we break a fast. And a lot of people refer to this more as what happens when you eat, but I don't want us to get caught up on just eating, because then we get a thought in our mind of what that's supposed to look like. So when I think of eating, I think of sitting down with my family with, maybe a plate in front of me with, everyone having sort of the same thing on their plate, and it's an event. And what we really need to understand about fasting and feasting correctly is that there are just times when you're fasting, and then there's times when you have broken your fast. So I'm going to refer to breaking a fast today, because there are a lot of things that will break your fast that don't necessarily fall under the definition of what we think eating is. So what happens when we break our fast is we have an insulin response in our body, or insulin levels increase. When we're in a fasted state, what we're really doing is keeping those insulin levels low, so we're not creating a new insulin response, and we're going to be burning through stored sugars and carbohydrates in our system. We do that in a fasted state. So we want to make sure that we are controlling the insulin that we have in our body. And for a lot of us, especially aging women, we have to realize that we have been in an insulin resistant type of atmosphere or environment with our body, where we have been storing fat for many years very, very slowly. I know for me, I was insulin resistant, now knowing what I'm going through as an aging woman, for probably most of my life. And I know that because I've done a lot of research on my own food history, and I know the struggles that I've had with weight loss and undesirable body fat, even as early as my adolescent years and being in high school. So we are just in the nature of storing body fat as women, and a lot of that does have to do with the lifestyle that we've been living and how much insulin our body is producing based on what we're doing when we're in a feasted state. So insulin is that hormone that does increase that fat storage on our body. It is our fat storing hormone. So the more carbohydrates you eat, the more protein you eat, the longer it's going to take for our body to burn through that overabundance of insulin and the extra carbs and the extra sugar that our body is storing. So longer clean fasting periods allows for more opportunity for your body to burn through the storage and actually get to that point of fat burning. We know that fat is the one macronutrient that causes the least amount of an insulin response. Protein and carbohydrates, carbohydrates being the most, is going to cause the bigger insulin response in our body. So the more carbs we consume, the more insulin we're going to have that we have to actually burn through to get to that stored carbs and the sugar that we have in our body. So we want to keep the insulin low so we have less to burn through as far as the storage compartments go. Our insulin levels naturally drop when we are at that 12-hour clean fasted window. So clean fasted in the community here, and what I teach in the course, and what's really helping women get unstuck with this stubborn weight gain that we have and this stubborn body fat that we're accumulating as we go through this aging process, is that 12-hour clean fast, meaning that you are not breaking your fast in any way, shape, or form for a certain period of time so that we don't have those insulin responses and we don't have that break of the burning of our storage. When we lose sight of our lifestyle, and we're going to go back to what I said in the very beginning of this broadcast, was when we lose sight of the lifestyle that we're creating for ourselves, little incidences of break fasts can really slip in. And before we know it, we're not even fasting for that minimal 12-hour period that really does provide us the opportunity to get into those deeper fat burning and storage burning type of situations in our body. Think about this time frame. You go through your day, you did really well in your fast, you really created this amazing feasting opportunity for yourself, and it's time to unwind, and maybe the kids are in bed, or it's time for you to, watch the shows that you have, recorded on your DVR or your what do we call it now? It's not even a DVR, is it? Your on demand or whatever it is that you're going to be watching your TV on. And you have an innocent glass of wine sitting on the couch. And it's, let's say, 10 o'clock at night. For you to get into that minimal 12-hour clean fasting period, you have to fast until 10 o'clock that next morning. Well, what if your lifestyle habits are you wake up in the morning and you have a cup of coffee and you innocently put in some stevia into that coffee, and let's say it's 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Now you just cut that minimal 12-hour period down to 7 or 8 hours, just the amount of time that you were asleep. So you're never really putting your body into a fasted state. This happens so innocently when we naturally fall into our lifestyle habits. And if we're not staying conscious of the time frame and the things that we're doing, the habits or the triggers that we have within our lifestyle, we can really find ourselves not fasting at all. So does that mean that our intermittent fasting is not working for us? No, not at all. All it means is that we've shifted back to some old habits. You do not need to find a new lifestyle or a new diet to go follow to start getting the results that you were getting when you were fasting correctly. So we don't have to vary up what it is that we're doing. All we need to do is go back to the lifestyle that we created when we were getting the benefits that we were getting when we were very conscious in our fasting window. So 12 hours is the amount of time that we need to stay truly fasted for our body to really start getting into those low insulin storage type of levels, and the amount of time frame that we want to establish where we have no more new insulin being produced in our body. Every hour past that 12 hours are just golden hours for us. And we really want to make sure that if we have some significant changes that we want to make in our life, or we have some significant changes that we want to make as we're aging and we're feeling so frustrated, every hour that you can that you can spend in a clean fasted state, meaning you have no insulin responses at all in your body, that everything is going to stay at the very low levels, and that you're just going to start churning away at everything that is stored for you. This is the very first week of lessons that I teach in my intermittent fasting for today's Aging Woman course. We have to understand this concept of what our body is doing when we break a fast, not what our body is doing when we're eating, because that's a completely different situation. If what you're trying to do is reset your metabolism, reset your hormones, and get yourself back to that state of being able to actually burn off unwanted weight, burn off unwanted fat, and really start entering into what I like to refer to as this anti-aging process that's available to us when we do intermittent fasting correctly. We can easily get caught up in life. I say this all the time here, that fasting is really easy. It's life that makes it difficult for us. It's that easing back into old habits or getting really comfortable with living the lifestyle that is considered the norm, right? And we don't want to live that normal lifestyle because we already know we've done that in the past, and that doesn't yield us the results that we want to have. If you were to go into a public setting of any kind, whether it be like a concert or a Disneyland or any type of big event, where you get a mass amount of people that are considered the average in your society, trust me, we don't want to be average. The average person is breaking down and sick and overweight and doesn't have energy. And for a lot of the average women in this aging community, we're losing our memory. We can't think clearly. We feel like the end is near. At least that's the way I felt. I thought, oh my gosh, if this is the way I'm feeling at 50, do I even want to know what 60 is going to be like? But now that I am focused on my lifestyle and I'm not jumping from the next fad diet or the next fad protocol or the next fad new thing that's coming on board with how we're supposed to be nourishing ourselves and how we're supposed to be healing ourselves, I'm excited about what 60 has to bring, because I have solidified a lifestyle for myself that is standing the test of time. And all I have to do is refocus on that lifestyle when I feel like I'm losing my grip. And if you feel like you're sliding backwards, or you feel like maybe you don't have the same results that you did, I highly recommend going back to the lifestyle that you knew was working for you. Get back into that very minimal amount of time of clean fasting, and then just start easing your way back into those golden bonus hours that are going to really help you reap the benefits that you need to have in order to have the lifestyle that you want for yourself. Feeding our way through the aging process is not the glamorous way to age. Trust me. What we want to do is make sure that we are preparing ourselves and creating this lifestyle that is going to allow us to age gracefully. And it's a very, very simple, economically feasible, and a lifestyle that really does make sense when you just consider the basics. What we have to remember is that life is going to get in our way, and there are going to be some things that might take us off track, maybe just momentarily. But when you go back to the basics and you go back to the science, and if you're a graduate of our community, you go back to your course and you review that very first week of lessons, it all makes sense. All we need to do is create that first 12 hours. No break fast whatsoever. And every hour after that we can keep ourselves in that clean fasted state is that much deeper. We'll get ourselves into that fat burning state. It's that much deeper. We'll allow our body to have the opportunity to be in autophagy. It's that much deeper that we'll be able to get ourselves into cellular repair, metabolic resets, whatever it is that you want to create for yourself. You don't have to jump ship on this lifestyle and go find something new. Just go back to the basics. We are really excited here at the For Today's Aging community because we have created what we call the Graduates Mastermind community. We are inviting all of our graduates from the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course to come into a community in lieu of an advanced course. And I know we've been talking a lot here about the possibility of launching an advanced fasting course. And with everything that is going on in the nutrition community and the aging community, especially now, that science is moving so quickly and changes are happening so quickly, and all the new evidence about what we are doing here in this community is being so solidified through research, that having an advanced course would be something that would be completely outdated before I could even get it put together. So in lieu of an advanced course, if you're one of our graduates from our community, we are offering a mastermind community, and every month I will be teaching an advanced lesson, or what we call the mastermind lesson, and we are creating a community so that we can support each other when life happens and we start to feel like we're sinking back into that old lifestyle that we had, and we just want to reinforce the habits that we've created for ourselves. We're also going to be doing some community extended fasting, which I'm super excited about, and I'm going to really be able to teach you guys how to enhance what you're already doing in a correct way, so that we're no longer jumping into things in a desperate manner to seek some of those results that we see that are so internet famous, and really doing it in a conscious state with a really level-headed emotional approach to it, so that when we start implementing some things like some advanced fasting techniques, which I think are phenomenal now that the science is there to back it up, especially for us aging women, we'll be able to do it in an environment that will be really safe. And like I said, I want to do it in an environment where we're all emotionally sound about what it is we're doing, and we're not going to be doing any kind of metabolic damage to ourselves. So if you're a graduate, please keep an eye on your email. We are going to be sending information out about that. So don't panic. You do not have to start varying the diet approaches that you are implementing in your life to continue with the results that you're getting with your intermittent fasting. Just go back to those basic lifestyle approaches that we've established here in this community, and go back to the basics. Get that good solid 12 hours of clean fasting in, and then work your way through the golden hours to that sweet spot that we talk about so beautifully here in this community, where we really start reaping the benefits of the energized sense of calm. If you can get to the energized sense of calm with your fasting, you know you are doing everything correctly, because your body is churning out so much energy through all the storage that you've accumulated, that you don't have to worry about putting any more new energy into your body. You're going to have everything that you need through the storage that your body is carrying around with you every day. So don't fret, just go back to the basics. Go back to the lifestyle that you were so happily creating for yourself, and know that that works for you. It's just that life sometimes gets in the way, and we have to remind ourselves about just going back to the basics and implementing what we already know works. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome everyone who's here. If you have any questions about anything I just discussed, make sure you put those in the comment section. Make sure I know who you are, so please leave your name there as well, so that I can call you by name. Sometimes these not so much Facebook, sometimes these YouTube names are a little hard to pronounce. So if you have something different than your name, please make sure you leave your name for me. Kathleen, hello, girlfriend. Miss M, I think it's M Pounds, I think is what the abbreviation is for that. I was keto, but finding hard to go back, especially fasting. So here's the thing that we have to remember, and I talked about this a little bit today. You know, our carbohydrates are the biggest thing that's gonna release insulin in our body. Protein is medium, and those fats are less. So when you're going super hardcore keto and you're doing a lot of fat and especially a lot of animal protein, you can find that you're getting stuck in a point where you're not seeing any results. So when you're implementing that intermittent fasting as well with the keto, it can be a little bit more difficult. I know not for everyone, but for some, because you are feeling stuck and you're kind of like dipping into both ends of keeping everything low. And what we're finding here in this community is that implementing a keto-like diet, so adding in some really conscious carbohydrates into your day, along with the common sense approach of keeping things higher fat, cutting out all unnecessary carbohydrates, and really watching what we're doing in our protein window, because too much protein is not good for us as well, then we really start reaping the benefits of what we're doing in that fasting window, as long as we're clean fasting. So make sure you're considering that, Miss MLBS. Bernie. Hi, Diane. Bernie's checking in from Ireland. Just discovered you a couple of weeks ago and loving you and your videos. Have signed up for the March course and I'm really looking forward to it. Bernie, we're super excited to have you for sure. I love all my Ireland ladies that are coming in and joining us in the course. Terry, she's a January grad. I'm mostly 20 hours fasting, 4 hours feasting, but I've had a few days with longer feasts due to special occasions. And that's the beauty of creating your own lifestyle and not jumping off into different variations of diets. Remember, when you're jumping around to different variations of diets, you're in it for whatever time frame and whatever the breakdown of that specific diet is. And that doesn't allow for a lot of social activities. And this is why a lot of us women, especially, I know for me, have felt really deprived over the years because we have to be that girl that goes, oh, no, thank you, I'm on a diet, or I can't do that right now, I'm dieting. And you have a start date and you have an end date and you have a day one and a day where you're either successful or you failed at it. And we really want to try to stay away from those approaches to taking care of ourselves because they don't work for us and they usually end up leaving us feeling broken or disappointed in ourselves, or we get that euphoric sort of feeling at the end date and then we go back to living our normal lifestyle because we really weren't doing things that were realistic, and then we end up finding ourselves chasing another diet. So we really want to make sure that we're staying away from those as much as you can and enjoying memory making moments. We don't want to miss memory making moments because of food restrictions that we have put in place for ourselves. So thank you so much for sharing that for sure. Let's see, Juliet, hello. Allison from the November 2018 course, Loving IF. Thank you for turning me onto it. Wondering if you are doing a part 2 program for graduates. Would be in a minute. So Allison, I talked about that, so hopefully I answered that question for you. In lieu of a complete course, we are launching an ongoing course, and so it'll be little segments of information that becomes available as things change in this industry of nutrition and all the new science information that's coming out. So we're calling it the Graduates Mastermind Community. I hope you will consider joining with us this first month, so the month of March. I will be teaching a lesson on your pituitary gland and why we should be taking care of our pituitary gland as we are aging. So lots of good information there. And then we have a community support group as well, so you'll be able to interact with your other graduates. So I'll make sure we get you some information on that for sure. Rochelle, she's a February graduate or February student. You'll be graduating at the end of this week. Terry, so many options on how I should continue this lifestyle from family, friends, and fitness coach. Terry, you should really consider what works for you. Always listen to what other people have to say because sometimes information might be something that you haven't considered before. But always stay true to yourself is the best advice I can give you. And when you have to leave what's true to you to make someone else happy, that's never a good thing. So stay true to you, stay true to the boundaries that you've set up for yourself. And if something they're saying maybe makes sense for you, consider it. And if it doesn't, just say thank you so much and then just let it be. I wouldn't try to get into too many what do I say? Not conversations. You want to get conversations about it. I wouldn't get too many debates about what other people think you should be doing for sure. Chris, hello. Terry, I already talked to you. Eileen from Massachusetts, hello. Gloria, I fast for 18 hours every day, but once I start eating, I just continue to keep eating for whatever reason. Okay, well, so if you have an 18-hour fast, that means you have a 16-hour feast. If you have established 16 hours as your feasting time, it's okay if you eat. Just make sure that you're eating food that...
6.
Huh? 6? What'd I say, 8?
You said 18.
18. So if you're 18 hours fasted, you're 6 hours feasted, eat for the 6 hours feasted. Just make sure that the food that you're consuming in that 6 hours is food that's going to help you look and feel your best and live your most authentic life. If you're not eating for 6 hours, then you're fasting for more than 18. Then you're feasting for 4, or you're feasting for 2, or you're consuming a 1 meal a day type approach. So don't worry about the hours. Just listen to the signs and signals that your body is sending you. And if you need to eat, you eat. And if you don't need to eat, you don't eat. So you're just having a window of opportunity to feast. What you do within that window usually is determined every day with the 2 questions you're asking yourself. How long should you fast and how long should you feast? And if you're thinking you need to feast for 6 because you're fasting for 8, 18, then that's what you do. You feast for 6. Let's see. Terry, wondering if my black double early grey tea I drink in the morning takes me out of my fast. I would say test it out. Go without it for 7 days. Drink it for 7 days. Where do you see the best results? That's how you'll know if it takes you out of your fast. Juliet, yes, life makes fasting clean difficult. Yes, it does. So go into seasons is what I say too. If you're in a season where maybe it's not as easy for you, then just, know that, acknowledge that, embrace that, be okay with that, and then go into the next season where it's maybe a little bit more simple for you to do that, and then just thrive in that. Don't be too hard on yourself, for sure. Juliet, how long is it best to fast? It depends on what your goals are, for sure. If you're healing yourself, I teach 20 hours. We teach that in the class, for sure. Ani Cage, do you like, let's see, I don't want to read that one. Daniela, it's going really well, but I'm worried when I go in for a holiday, European holiday in October. Don't worry about vacations. This is the beautiful thing about creating your own lifestyle, is it should ebb and flow with your life. Never miss a memory-making opportunity because of some predetermined fast or feast or diet or whatever. We've done that too much in our past. So set boundaries for yourself on your vacation, set some goals for yourself on your vacation, and live within those. And then just enjoy the heck out of your European vacation. Pay attention to the signs and signals your body's sending you. If you're doing something that doesn't feel good, or you wake up the next morning and you feel like you don't look good, don't do that thing again. And then just fast your way out of it. So when we go on vacation, we enjoy our vacation. We do try to fast, 12 to 14 hours minimally. And if we're not hungry, we don't eat. And if there's a festive opportunity, we participate in it. So go with the flow, but set boundaries for yourself. You don't want to make yourself sick on vacation. Oftentimes that happens because we kind of like throw all the rules out and we just go for it, and then we end up sick, and we wait too long for vacations to come around to spend it feeling sick and miserable. So boundaries would be the best thing I would suggest for you, for sure. Wanda, what's the best time to fast and how long? The best time to fast is the time that will make you most successful, and how long you should fast is determined by the goals that you have set for yourself. And if you haven't taken our course yet, I would highly recommend doing so. I teach you all of that in there. Miriam, what do you mean by clean fasting? No coffee, no stevia, both? Thanks. We teach that in the class as well, so I would highly recommend taking the course. Terry, I'm in the February group. Timely message, don't give up. The rewards far outweigh any sacrifices. Yes, Terry, they do. And I would highly recommend, Terry, you jump into our graduate community mastermind group, where you'll get continued support and education. And we'll keep you on this great lifestyle for sure. Terry, you're welcome. And Shantae, does drinking grapefruit juice break a fast? Grapefruit juice is food, so I think you can answer that one for yourself. And then Juliet, you're welcome. Michael, there's a couple comments in there you need to delete for us if you don't mind. Okay, I'm gonna jump over here to Facebook and see who's here with us today, and if I can answer any questions or comments from you guys here on Facebook. Amy, I'm watching from Australia. I was gonna say Australia. Don't you wish you were in Australia? She's in Oregon. I was originally in the April 2017 class. Tammy from Denver, December 2019. I think you mean 2018. Lori, hey girlfriend. Sue, hi everyone, listening from Indiana, currently in the February class. Oh, girlfriend, you're about to be a graduate. I'm so excited for you guys. Lori from February 2019 class. Dana from Scotland, welcome girlfriend. Tanya, hello. Lucy, hello, watching from Maryland, currently in the February class, feeling great. Awesome girlfriend, I'm super excited. You're about to be a graduate as well. Susan, does CBD oil break my fast? I don't know enough about CBD oil. So I would probably talk to the person who you're getting your CBD oil from. I don't personally use it. I probably wouldn't put it in my fasting window. I would probably put it in my feasting window, because anything you put on your body is going to be considered some sort of feast. I would say if you feel something when you're taking your CBD oil, it might be. So again, I always say run the 7-day test on everything and see how your body feels with and without it. Julie from Ohio, welcome, girlfriend. Anna, I hear this loud and clear. Awesome, I love that. Susan does CBD oil. I think we already read that one. Gail, definitely don't want to be average. No way. Especially average aging women. Like, we want to create this new community of women that is definitely not average. And I think we already are raising the bar as far as that is concerned, especially in this community. We are all aging very successfully. And my goal really is to go in for my annual appointment every year and have my doctor like give me the look he always gives me when he's asking me what kind of medication I'm on. Like, none. Like, how is it that you have such a great, blood pressure when you're not on blood pressure medication? Are you not on any kind of cholesterol medication? Are you not on, no, nothing, and it's almost like you get this look of disappointment. Like, that should be our goal, ladies. When we go in for an annual exam or anytime we go to the doctor and we get our blood pressure checked or we step on a scale, like I said the other day, like, I step on a scale at the doctor's office with my coat, my boots, my purse, and my water bottle, and I laugh. Like, you go ahead. I'm not concerned about the number that comes on that scale because it doesn't matter to me. I really gauge my success with everything I'm doing by how I wake up every morning, and am I ready to start the day or am I dreading my day? And all that comes back to how I feel about how I'm looking and feeling, and am I living my most authentic life? And I think when we start living our life that way, like, yeah, we don't want to be average in any way at all. Anna, does bulletproof coffee break the fast? Bulletproof coffee is food, so anything that would be considered food will break your fast for sure. How deeply it breaks your fast depends on what you're putting in your bulletproof coffee, but we want to make sure that we're clean fasting to get the best results anytime you want to fast. I think if you're really wanting to reap the benefits of fasting for healing purposes, you don't play games. And that's, I will always feel that way. Now, there's varying levels of fasting as you heal. And if you're no longer, struggling with weight issues, or you're no longer struggling with some of the cognitive decline that we're feeling as aging sets in, or you're no longer battling with any kind of health problems, then I think you can vary up what you're doing with your fasting. But if you're struggling with some things, you have to clean fast, definitely. Gail, I needed to hear this today. Awesome. I love when my topic of conversation meets up with your guys' need. I think that's a perfect day. Lori, the sweet spot for sure. Christina from New Jersey. Dana, recently found your videos, 54, fat, fed up, and been fasting for 2 months and finding it is so freeing. Okay, well, good. Then hopefully you'll start to describe yourself in a different way. And if you're really feeling frustrated and you want to get on the fast track to changing how you define yourself, I would highly recommend jumping in on our March 2nd course. The very first week is the best week in the course for the results that women are getting, because that's where we really lay the foundation of how to fast correctly, and everything else after that we just put icing on the cake that we don't eat because it's loaded with carbs. But I think that you would really benefit from the course, just changing your mindset about some things as well. So Dana, make sure you get on our email list for sure. Julie, I have tried keto intermittent fasting, neither worked for me. I am on bioidentical hormones and thyroid medication. Any suggestions? I'm postmenopause and haven't been able to lose weight in 6 years. Julie, the best thing I can do is invite you to my March 2nd course. We can help you change all of that. Women are getting off of all kinds of prescription medication through what they're doing with the lifestyle changes that they're making, and it's all just based on information that I provide for you and the support system we have in our community. So Julie, I would highly recommend jumping in. Women who haven't been able to lose weight in decades are losing weight in the very first week. And then I always like to preface those comments with this comment: the goal of the course that I teach is not to have you lose weight. The goal of the course that I teach is to help you figure out why you've been struggling and why you're feeling frustrated and why it is you feel stuck. And once we figure those things out and can really reverse some of ththese things we're we're battling with as we age, that's when weight starts to come off, because we start to reset our bodies. So don't struggle, don't feel frustrated, jump in the course. It's 3 weeks. You've been struggling for 6 years. Let's fix all that in 3 weeks. And I promise you, you'll start to feel some relief and see some results in the very first week. So don't torture yourself anymore. Just jump on in with us. Jody joined in. Christina, I do an 18-hour fast. I like simple, healthy food, good fats, protein, and veggies, 2 small meals. Don't like recipes. Christina, you are my girl. I don't like recipes either. I get a lot of requests for, recipes, that we do at home. And so I try to share, I share a lot of food on my Instagram channel. I say if you have a cucumber, an avocado, some avocado oil, some purple onion, and some tomato, you could feast forever. Like, we eat that like repeatedly throughout the week, and we just vary up those 5 ingredients in a bowl, and we feast on that. So we're not big recipe people either. So girlfriend, you're talking my talk for sure with that one. Let's see who else we've got here on YouTube. Let's see, Miriam, how much is the course? I'm 36 years old, going back to school and paying as I go, so incredibly broke. Just sign up for our email list for sure, girlfriend, and we'll give you all the information.
I'll put a link on too.
Okay, there's a link on YouTube and Facebook for all of you. Roberta, hello. Amy, just jumping on, fasting well, but not feasting very well. Half my meal is great, the other half isn't, but I feel like I'm doing everything else well and just not making any gains. Okay, so Amy, what I want you to figure out is how you're defining not feasting well, and realize that you have the power to make the choices about the things that you're putting in your body. So are you reading food ingredients labels? Are you paying attention to the signs and signals that your body is sending you? If you're eating food on the repeat that makes you feel bad, we have to get to the deeper issue there. Like, why are you self-sabotaging? I don't think that my diet or my feasts are always what nutritionist would think is the perfect nutrition plan, but it's all the foods that make me look and feel my best, and I'm living my most authentic life, and I don't really have a whole lot of complaints. I'm not sick. Could I stand to lose 5 or 10 pounds? Yeah, who couldn't? But I'm not stressed about it. And so I think what we have to really do is define what not feasting well is for us. And if you're continually eating foods that are making you sick, and you're continually eating foods that don't make you feel good, why is that? And we do talk about that a lot in the course, especially our 3rd week. Like, why are you just constantly walking into that same wall? It doesn't mean you can't ever eat a cookie again. It doesn't mean you can't have chips and salsa. We eat chips and salsa in our house all the time. It's just chips and salsa that don't make us sick. And I think that's really what we have to get down to with this whole feasting battle is, don't eat food that makes you sick. It's not about whether food is good or whether food is bad by definition. It's about whether food is good for you or whether food is bad for you. And you have to just figure out what those foods are, eliminate the ones that are making you sick, and then put in the ones that are making you feel good, and the ones that are making you feel like you're living a happy life. Roberta, I've learned a lot from taking the course. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you did your lessons and you learned a lot. Tatsu, Roberta, my fasting is good, my feasting is okay, sometimes needs to be better. Again, go back to those things. When you eat something, how are you feeling? That's what's going to determine what good or bad is for you. And then you just fine-tune it. You fine-tune all that based on the results that you want. And Rochelle, chemicals in our cosmetics and personal items. The list of ingredients is so overwhelming. How do you weed through all the toxins? Rochelle, I have a great skincare line that I'm using that is primarily made from food products. So I feel like I'm feasting my face every time I wash my face. It's the skincare products that my kids use as well. If you're on my email list, I send out information about that every Sunday, or you can email me and I'll give you the information about what it is I'm using here. My son uses it and my daughter uses it as well. So it's something I'm very confident with about putting on our skin, because I do believe that when we put stuff on our skin, we're feasting as well, because anything that goes into your system is going to definitely be considered a feast for sure. Okay, any other comments here on Facebook? Doesn't look like it. So if you're struggling, if you are one of those women who has spent the past several years feeling like you can't lose weight, or feeling like, this is as good as it's going to get, and you don't like that answer that you're giving yourself, don't torture yourself anymore. Jump into our course. We start March 2nd. It's 3 weeks. Lots of great information. If you're a graduate of my Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, there's a lot of you out there. We've been doing this now for over 2 years. I would love to have you jump in our community and our Mastermind course series, where every month we'll be teaching a new topic. Keep an eye out on your email box. We'll be sending registration information about that this week or beginning of next week, and we are doing that in lieu of an advanced course so that I can keep you guys as tuned in to the latest information as possible. We'll be doing lots of fun stuff every month inside the course. I'd love to have you jump in with us. Okay, that's all I have for today. Don't feel like you have to search for the next best diet. You have found it with intermittent fasting and creating a keto-like lifestyle, as long as you stay in tune with what your lifestyle has going on in the moment. And remember, your life goes through seasons. We have vacation seasons, we have party seasons, we have cold weather seasons where, yes, it is a little bit more difficult to fast because we want comfort and we want warmth. And oftentimes that comes to us in the phase of feasting. We have to be okay with that emotionally and mentally so that we can get through that season and get into the next season where maybe you can embrace this intermittent fasting lifestyle a little deeper again. All of that is okay. We need to start giving ourselves a little bit of grace and know that if we stick to what works, it will work. Thanks for jumping on with me today. Continue to make decisions that will lead you to a life where you can look and feel your best and live it authentically. We will be back here on Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time, where we will have another subject that we discuss. If you have any questions about our upcoming course, please don't be shy. Reach out to me via email. I'll try to get as many questions answered as I can. And if you're struggling, like I said, don't think about it. Just register, get in with us, and I promise you, I will take care of you. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys on Friday.